Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and stay tuned by clicking the bell icon. The Bold and the Beautiful Thursday, November 20th recap. Luna runs in front of speeding vehicle. Will spreads miscarriage news. Thursday's episode delivered full-throttle chaos, heartbreak, and a handful of moments that left nearly every character spiraling. Luna's emotional collapse, Will's reckless decision-making, and the Foresters' frantic search created a domino effect that promises fallout for days. Here's your detailed, creative 1,000-word recap. Luna's breakdown erupts into disaster. The episode opened with Luna on the verge of shattering completely. After hours of dodging questions, deflecting Will's concerns, and hiding the secret she no longer had the strength to carry, she finally reached her breaking point. Her hands trembled as she flashed back to the moment she discovered the bleeding, the moment she knew the baby she'd hoped for was gone before she could even process what having it would mean. Her mind darted between guilt, shame, fear, and a desperate need to disappear. Will's rejection earlier in the day had only amplified every terrible thought running through her head. He had pulled away, confused and overwhelmed, and she'd interpreted the distance as condemnation. Her breathing turned shallow as she stumbled away from Illinois Giardino, unable to handle the growing crowd outside. The lights and noise felt suffocating, and her vision blurred as she attempted to escape her own panic. That's when everything went horribly wrong. As she reached the edge of the property, traffic roared by on the street, a blur of headlights and engines. Luna didn't seem to notice. Her thoughts were too loud, too crushing. She stepped off the curb, not realizing a car was barreling toward her at full speed. A quick screech of brakes, the blare of a horn, and a devastating thud sent her body collapsing onto the pavement. People screamed. Someone called for help. Cars swerved. The chaos was instant. Luna lay still, her hair fanned like black silk around her body unmoving except for a faint twitch of her fingers. It was enough to send shockwaves through everyone watching, and through viewers holding their breath at home. Will shares Luna's secret, and regrets it immediately. Meanwhile, back at Forrester Creations, Will remained rattled from his emotional showdown with Luna. Their last conversation played on a loop in his mind, the pain in her eyes, the trembling in her voice, the accusation that he didn't really love her. He had tried to follow her, but she'd slipped away too fast. Then, in a moment of panic, fear, and immaturity, Will confided in Elektra. He didn't intend to spread Luna's private heartbreak. He didn't intend to betray her trust. But the words poured out, fueled by worry and confusion. She lost the baby, he whispered, barely able to say the words. I didn't know. She didn't tell me until today. Elektra went silent. Genuine sympathy flickered across her face, quickly replaced by the dangerous spark of someone who realizes information is power. Will saw it the moment it happened, and regret slammed into him. I shouldn't have said anything, he muttered, running a hand through his hair. Please don't tell anyone. Luna would hate me. But Elektra only offered that unreadable smile, the kind that made it impossible to know whether she was about to comfort or combust. Of course, she said. I won't say a word. Whether she meant it. The episode left the answer hanging. Still, Will couldn't shake his guilt. His confession had felt like a release in the moment, but now it weighed on him like a stone. He had no idea Luna was lying in the street fighting for her life. Steffi and Finn get stunning updates. Steffi and Finn's morning of quiet domestic calm was cut short when Deputy Chief Baker called again, not with updates about the fugitive case that had been swirling around Luna and Will, but with a disturbing request. Do you know Luna? Your family's been looking for her, Baker said. There's been an incident. Finn's entire body went rigid. Steffi's hand shot out instinctively to grip his arm. What happened? Is she hurt? Finn demanded, doctor mode already activated, panic in his eyes. Baker gave as few details as possible, standard operating procedure, but the implication was clear, the situation was serious, and Luna needed help immediately. The moment Finn hung up, Steffi was already grabbing her coat. The two rushed out the door, both of them worried not just about the accident, but what had caused it. Steffi couldn't shake the feeling that Luna had been emotionally unraveling in ways no one had properly confronted. The hints, the outbursts, the strange behavior around Will. It all made sense now, but too late. Lee reacts with fury and fear. At the hospital, Lee received the news before Finn and Steffi arrived. Her reaction was explosive, fueled by fear and simmering resentment. This is exactly what I warned them about, she snapped to a nurse. Luna is unstable, and now someone else has paid the price. Or maybe Luna herself will. But beneath her harsh words was a river of fear. Luna may not have been her biological daughter, but Lee had been a guiding influence throughout her life. If something happened to her, Lee would never forgive herself, or anyone else she blamed for contributing to Luna's spiral. The Forresters scramble as news spreads. Back at Forrester Creations, several employees rushed toward the design office as someone breathlessly revealed that Luna had been hit by a car. Panic rippled across the team, Hope, Ridge, Brooke, Carter, each reacting with shock, fear, confusion. Brooke immediately tried to find Will, wanting to shield him from learning the news the wrong way. Ridge attempted to gather facts, but information was scarce. Then Elektra slipped in behind the crowd, wearing an expression that could be interpreted a dozen different ways: concern, calculation, disbelief, satisfaction, or perhaps all of the above. As the news of Luna's condition spread, so did murmurs of Will's admission about the miscarriage. Some people whispered sympathetically. Others looked horrified. And some, especially those who had doubted Luna before, began wondering whether her emotional collapse and the accident were connected. Drama was multiplying by the minute. Finn arrives at the scene. The episode ended with Finn crouched beside Luna on the pavement, emergency responders clearing space as he checked her pulse and hovered protectively over her. "Luna, it's Finn. Stay with me," he urged, his voice steady but his eyes filled with fear. Steffi stood nearby, horrified, watching Luna's pale face and the blood on the asphalt. She could hardly breathe. Sirens wailed in the distance. The world felt like it was collapsing in slow motion. Finn looked up at the paramedics and shouted, "We need to move, now." If you liked the video, don't forget to like, comment and share.